Here's a rustic secret that instantly elevates a vegetable garden. Design the fence first, not the beds. When your boundary feels timeless, everything inside appears abundant and intentional. Today on Luxury Home Decor, we're exploring farmhouse fence ideas that blend charm, durability, and year-round function. From reclaimed wood frames to woven branch panels, these tips maximize privacy, protect crops, and feel beautifully handmade. Settle in. Practical inspiration and budget-savvy creativity are about to meet in your backyard. Think of your fence as the garden's handshake, welcoming, sturdy, and full of character. Rustic farmhouse style favors natural materials, honest textures, and finishes that weather gracefully. Start by choosing a palette: warm cedar, sun-washed pine, or a gentle whitewash that brightens greens. Anchor with thick posts, keep lines simple, and let imperfections sing. This approach suits small courtyards and sprawling yards alike, creating cohesion across seasons while giving vegetables a protective, picturesque backdrop. Seasonal trends right now lean into layered textures. A solid lower section to deter critters, topped with airy lattice for light and breeze. In spring, the pattern frames blossoms. By summer, vines soften lines. In winter, the structure remains sculptural. Choose slats spaced to balance airflow with privacy, and favor screws over nails for longevity. The result is a fence that evolves with a calendar while preserving the cozy, heritage feel people love in farmhouse gardens. On a budget, salvaged boards and pallets become instant farmhouse classics when prepped thoughtfully. Look for heat-treated stamps, sand splinters, and seal with plant-safe finishes. Alternate board widths for a collected look, and cap the top with a single continuous rail for polish. Add sturdy hardware and deep-set posts to keep thrifted materials feeling intentional, not makeshift. With careful spacing and a consistent stain, inexpensive wood transforms into fencing that feels storied and substantial. For a fresh twist, pair corrugated metal panels with chunky wooden frames. The ripple catches light, the frame adds warmth, and together they create a durable, farmhouse industrial hybrid. Choose matte galvanized sheets to avoid glare, and run panels horizontally for a wider, calmer feel. Break long runs with simple timber posts and climbing wires. It's practical around vegetables because it shields from wind, reflects gentle warmth, and offers an easy surface for trellised beans. Woven willow or hazel hurdles bring instant cottage charm and surprising strength. Their organic weave filters wind, shelters young seedlings, and ages to a silvery patina that suits clay pots and cedar beds. Install short sections as internal dividers and taller panels along boundaries. To keep costs down, weave pruned branches into patch panels each season. The result feels handcrafted, sustainable, and deeply textural, perfect for spaces that crave softness without sacrificing practical protection. Color sets the mood. Classic whitewash makes tomatoes glow and cucumbers look crisp, while pale driftwood stains calm busy plantings. For drama, try a soft charcoal that recedes visually, letting vegetables pop like artwork. Sage green bridges foliage and wood, and milk paint finishes add velvety depth. Stick to one dominant tone for coherence, then echo it on gates or tool hooks to tie the garden together without overwhelming your harvest's natural colors. A thoughtful gate becomes the garden's invitation. Keep shapes simple: a gentle arch, a farmhouse Z-brace, or a squared frame with fine mesh for small pests. Choose hefty hinges, a latch you can operate one-handed, and a threshold that won't trap soil. Set the gate where paths naturally converge so every visit feels effortless. Paint or stain to match the fence, and consider a tiny chalkboard tag for seasonal notes or charming welcomes. Optimize space by tailoring fence height to purpose. Lower edges near seating preserve views and winter sun, while taller sections shelter tender crops from prevailing winds. Use inside faces for productivity. Add narrow shelves, tool brackets, and slim vertical planters between posts. Place trellis segments where tomatoes naturally lean, freeing ground for herbs. This layered approach turns boundaries into hard-working surfaces without clutter, keeping pathways generous and maintenance delightfully straightforward. Design principles make Rustic look refined. Repeat a few elements, post size, rail spacing, or cap style, to create rhythm. Contrast rough textures with one smoother feature, like a planed top rail. Keep proportions friendly. Posts thicker than slats, rails aligned with bed heights. Finally, edit. Leave negative space between features so the fence breathes and vegetables shine. When every choice serves function and feeling, the garden reads cohesive rather than cobbled together. Protection can be beautiful. Inside wooden frames, stretch welded wire for strength that still reads airy. At beds where nibblers persist, add a discreet band of hardware cloth along the lower run and bury several inches to block digging. Choose rust-resistant coatings and keep mesh openings sized to local challenges. This quiet armor blends into the design while safeguarding lettuces, berries, and seedlings. Proof that farmhouse style can be charming and pragmatic at once. Evening moments matter. String lights feel festive, but consider low-glare warm pathway fixtures mounted on posts for practical harvesting after sunset. Solar caps on fence tops add a gentle halo without wiring. Keep temperatures warm so foliage looks rich, and use timers to preserve dark skies. Thoughtful lighting extends enjoyment into cooler months, turning the fence into an amber frame for suppers, seed starting checks, and impromptu late summer herb snips. Let plants collaborate with the fence. Espalier fruit trees along sunny stretches to save space and add sculptural interest. Train peas, cucumbers, and runner beans up removable string grids so cleanup is simple after frost. Tuck nasturtiums at the base for peppery salad accents and soft drape. Where heat builds, give climbers a small standoff so airflow prevents mildew. This living architecture adds color, fragrance, and harvests without crowding walkways. Weathering is part of the charm. Choose finishes that age gracefully and respect the soil. Penetrating oils, water-based stains, and traditional milk paint keep grain visible while shedding rain. Avoid harsh solvents near edible beds. Look for plant-safe low-VOC products and let wood dry fully before planting. When boards gray, celebrate the patina or refresh with a thin wash that lets knots and saw marks whisper through. Quick yearly checks keep joints tight and edges sealed. Mixed materials amplify farmhouse character. A short stone plinth topped with wood keeps boards off damp soil and adds grounding heft. Use locally available stone for authenticity and leave mortar joints slightly rustic. Above, run vertical boards for a staunch look or alternating widths for a collected feel. This hybrid resists rot, buffers temperature swings, and provides a timeless backdrop for terracotta, galvanized watering cans, and heirloom tomatoes tumbling along twine. Think in sequences: path, gate, bed, fence, pause. Align openings with destinations so movement feels intuitive. Place a simple focal point opposite the gate: a barrel planter, potting bench, or compost bin screened by lattice. Use the fence to nudge traffic, keeping muddy boots off tender seedlings. When circulation flows smoothly, maintenance is easier and the garden reads organized, even on busy harvest mornings stacked with baskets, herbs, and clattering watering cans. For families, make fences friendly. Round over top edges, set latches high, and avoid snaggy wire ends. Create a peak window with mesh so kids feel included without trampling seedlings. Leave a small mud station near the gate with hooks for little tools. Inside, protect delicate beds using short hurdle panels that lift out for weeding. These gentle cues keep play lively yet respectful, preserving fresh greens and sanity during peak growing weeks. Balance protection with welcome. A farmhouse fence can invite pollinators and songbirds while discouraging nibblers. Plant nectar-rich flowers just outside sunny runs. Hang a shallow water dish near a post. And keep pesticide-free zones. Add small gaps where appropriate so beneficial creatures travel, while burying mesh where digging pests target beds. This balanced strategy supports a lively ecosystem, making vegetables healthier and the garden soundtrack richer through the seasons. Happier harvests start with thriving allies. Seasonality shapes smart fencing. In early spring, clip temporary clear panels to the inside of posts to shelter tender starts from gusts. As heat arrives, swap to breathable shade cloth for lettuces while tomatoes bask. In fall, hang removable leaf screens that corral drifting mulch. These modular layers ride on the permanent structure, so the fence remains handsome while flexing to your crop's changing needs across unpredictable weather swings. Simple clips and eyelets make every adjustment quick. Let the fence help you stay organized. Mount slim tool racks between posts for trowels and pruners, and add a fold-down shelf for potting quick starts. A magnetic strip holds shears. A small envelope box stores seed packets. Keep everything under simple shelters to protect finishes. When tools live right where you garden, chores shorten, impulse harvests grow, and the space feels like a welcoming outdoor kitchen dedicated to vegetables. Privacy doesn't require heaviness. Angle slats slightly so they screen nearby windows while channeling breezes toward the beds. Stagger gaps, wider near paths, narrower by seating to tune openness. Where noise intrudes, add an inner lattice panel to disrupt sound without enclosing the garden. If distant views matter, drop the top rail in a short span to create a framed horizon. This layered approach feels calm, generous, and unmistakably farmhouse. Light and pollinators still move freely. fences and paths should converse. Use compacted gravel or wood chips that echo your fence tone, and define edges with timber set flush for wheelbarrow ease. Let the fence carry straight lines while paths meander between beds. Place discrete stepping pads at gate thresholds and widen turns near compost or hose bibs. This quiet choreography keeps rain soaking in, boots cleaner, and harvest trips swift without sacrificing the garden's gentle, rustic mood. Craft an entrance vignette that sets the tone. A cedar gate flanked by lavender, a vintage bell for cheerful arrivals, and a small hook for baskets make routines delightful. Keep the first bed low so the garden reveals itself gradually, then let taller crops rise beyond. Add a narrow bench inside the gate for boots and tea. The fence frames these moments, turning chores into rituals. Rooted, calm, and farmhouse true. Daily magic. Even practical corners deserve beauty. Screen compost with a short run of the same fence material, leaving airflow gaps and a wide gate for turning. A corrugated lid or timber slats keep rain balanced, while a gravel pad stays tidy. Mark nearby posts with simple symbols for greens and browns to guide helpers. When utility areas echo the main design, the whole garden reads cared for and cohesive, not pieced together. water strategy can ride the fence line. Attach a hose reel to a reinforced post, run drip lines along rails, and use quick connects for seasonal swaps. Where roofs or sheds abut, guide runoff to barrels with rain chains, then ladle that gift into thirsty beds. Keep fittings clustered to minimize clutter. A clean water setup saves minutes every day and keeps wood healthier by preventing constant splashback. Harvest more, haul less, and let the fence quietly orchestrate flow. Source materials with story. Ask local mills for offcuts. Check farm auctions for weathered boards. And verify treatments are garden safe. Reusing lumber reduces cost and carbon while adding patina you can't fake. Match hardware to the narrative. Galvanized for workhorse honesty. Blackened steel for heritage charm. When every component aligns with values and function, the fence becomes more than a boundary. It's a quiet manifesto for mindful, generous living. Your vegetables will thrive beside that integrity. Working with a compact yard. Choose slimmer posts, thinner rails, and semi-transparent designs that borrow light. Hang vertical planters on fence grids, tuck strawberries in pocket pouches, and train tomatoes up twine spacers. Keep colors lighter to expand the sense of width, and run boards horizontally to exaggerate length. A small garden can feel remarkably generous when the fence sets a quiet rhythm and keeps every inch productive. Cozy doesn't mean cramped when design is intentional. In large yards, scale thoughtfully. Break the garden into rooms using low inner fences that echo the perimeter, then vary heights to guide views. A breezeway corridor funnels airflow, an orchard edge softens wind, and a kitchen plot near the door keeps dinner spontaneous. Repetition ties the sprawl together while slight variations prevent monotony. Big doesn't need to feel busy. It can read like a peaceful patchwork stitched by posts and rails. If you're building yourself, move with intention. Set the layout with taut lines, sink posts deep and true, and let concrete cure before rails go on. Pre-finish boards to save knees, and stage materials in order of use. As panels assemble, check level often and align fasteners like neat stitching. Patience now yields years of ease, delivering a fence that feels steady underhand and gracious through every season. Invite a friend. Good stories ride the grain. Styling should whisper, not shout. Hang a couple of woven baskets for quick pickings, add a small sign with planting dates, and mount one antique tool like a talisman. Keep accents sparse so vegetables remain the star. Choose linen, jute, or galvanized pieces that echo the fence tone. Secure anything movable with gentle ties so wind brings motion, not noise, maintaining that calm lived-in farmhouse hush. Practical beauty lasts longer than decoration alone. A major trend reshaping rustic gardens is restraint, muted palettes, sustainable materials, and design meant for repair. Instead of chasing novelty, people choose boards they can replace one by one, hardware they can tighten, and stains they can refresh. The fence becomes a living project, improved a little each year. This mindset reduces waste, guards budgets, and deepens attachment, which is the most luxurious feeling of all. Your vegetables taste better when the boundary reflects patience and care. Color harmony keeps the garden photogenic in every season. If benches and sheds lean warm, consider a cooler fence to balance. If your soil and pots are earthy, a creamy whitewash lifts shadows. Use one accent, perhaps a softly painted gate, to thread personality through beds. Avoid too many hues. Vegetables provide plenty. When the palette is quiet, textures speak louder, and every tomato, bean, and squash looks like a celebration. Consistency flatters abundance. Plan for winter interest so the fence still charms after frost. Simple cross rails frame silhouettes of dormant beds, while evergreen herbs near posts keep pockets of color. Leave a few seed heads for birds, and hang a bundle of twine and labels as a promise of spring. With good proportions and a steady rhythm of posts, bare months become restful pauses, not empty gaps. The garden feels patient, generous, and ready. Mind the soil line. Keep boards off constant splash with a narrow gravel trench or low brick course. Seal end grain thoroughly and angle caps to shed rain. Choose finishes labeled plant safe, and give them curing time before mulch returns. These small habits extend the fence's life, protect your vegetables, and maintain that honest farmhouse aesthetic where longevity and stewardship quietly support everyday abundance. A little foresight now prevents costly repairs later and preserves weekend energy for harvesting joy. Blend comfort into the boundary. A slim bar ledge along the sunnier stretch becomes a tasting rail for cherry tomatoes and mint tea. Add 2 fold-down stools that disappear between posts, and hooks for lanterns on cool evenings. Because the fence already defines space, these additions feel inevitable, not cluttered. Harvests linger longer, conversations stretch, and the vegetable garden becomes the most magnetic room in the house. That's the quiet luxury rustic design delivers so well. Use the fence as an edible border. Slip narrow trough planters between posts for thyme, chives, and trailing strawberries. Suspend small pots on S-hooks with basil near paths for easy snipping. Marigolds and dill at the base invite helpful insects, and a slender trellis panel hosts cucumbers without sprawling. By stacking vertical harvests along the boundary, beds breathe, walkways stay clear, and the garden produces more with less effort. Abundance thrives on thoughtful layers. If today sparked ideas for your own rustic farmhouse vegetable garden fence, I'd love to hear which details you'll try first. Drop a comment with your questions or favorite materials, and tell me what you're growing this season. You're watching Luxury Home Decor, where practical beauty meets everyday living. If this helped, please like, share, and subscribe my channel, and send it to a friend who loves homegrown goodness. New inspiration arrives daily.